Going over to the political part podcast, you have Vivek on a judge allowing a Biden parade attendee to be on Trump's jury because they claim that the person claimed they thought it was just a celebration of, what was it? A celebration of necessary workers. Right. That's what they're claiming. Now, again, this comes to us thanks to Vivek's personal X Twitter profile, and he says, quote, "Now imagine," and again, he's responding to Nick Sorter. And Nick Sorter was saying, just in, Judge Merchan, again, this actually happened a little bit earlier last week, and Nick Sorter said, quote, "Just in, Judge Merchan decided that the juror who made multiple posts celebrating Biden and joining in a Biden victory party can, in fact, be impartial in a criminal trial against Trump." And Nick Sorter actually, let's see here. Not sure why it's not working here. Why, you ask? She says she thought she was joining a essentials workers party. I'm not kidding. Which, again, I'm not sure if anyone really believes that. Now, Vivek responded saying, quote, "Now imagine if Biden were on trial in Red, Mississippi, and a judge declared that a juror wearing a MAGA hat who attended a Trump victory party was impartial. The mainstream media would have a meltdown and Antifa would be on the streets. This trial isn't about justice, it's about election interference," unquote. And went viral to say the least, or moderately viral for Vivek, got 431,000 views and 18,000 likes, which, yeah, I don't think that would ever stand. There would be riots in the streets, which perhaps is why, unfortunately, for better or worse, maybe that's why the whole country and whole politics we're just shifting more and more left. And same with the media, because there's a huge negative incentive to not go with it. Your business could be burned down. And yet, conservatives historically have boycotted one time in history. And it made a big dent to, Bud Light with that boycott. But they also have 40 plus beer brands. So again, they're not going out of business anytime soon. Now, scrolling down, one of the first comments comes from our favorite contrarian or leftist, Luke Zaleski, which, again, is one of those instances where I don't like what Luke has to say, but he is a leftist, and I want as many opinions as possible. So I follow a couple of people in the left, far left, on the right, far right, just so I could have multiple perspectives. And life is getting a little boring for an echo chamber. So and again, Luke Zaleski, he's one who wrote to GQ. His highlight of his career is writing to on GQ magazine, saying how kids shouldn't play football. Yeah, he's one of those. Now, he also is someone who wears, his profile picture is him in a V-neck, which is pathetic to say the least. As we all know, men should always suit up, of course. Now, Luke Zaleski says, quote, "Everything has to be a travesty of justice, and Trump has to be the persecuted victim, and everyone who points out his fraud, abuse of power, and criminality has to be the villain, and nothing can just be what it is because their king is a con man and their kingdom collapses." Now, granted, mentally vacuous, to me, yes, 110%, but 8 people did like Luke's comment. Now, interestingly enough, he does not address the key point that Vivek is saying, because, again, this juror has a long track record of supporting Biden. So the propensity that they're probably going to be biased is pretty darn high. I mean, how many people do you know actually goes to a victory parade, especially for Biden? I mean, I've yet to see a Biden hat or a flag. Now, of course, again, the country's about 50-50. I know there are millions of people who like Biden, but I've never seen one of those flags or like a Biden hat. Have you? I'm sure they're out there, and probably lots of them in San Francisco. And granted, maybe there's confirmation bias. I live in the great country, or some might say the state of Texas. So while Texas, is becoming more and more purple, on average, it is more red. Now, you also have one bad dude say, quote, "Crooked government gangsters," and it's a picture of, what people think monsters look like, and it looks like, Al Pacino and all the ones from the movies. And then it says versus what they actually look like, and it's, Obama, so Obama, as well as Clinton, as well as Mr. Bush, both senior and George W. I think is that Bernie Sanders? Nah, can't tell. Someone who's very old with white hair on the very right, which doesn't narrow it down too much in politics, but nevertheless, that did get 60 likes. Scrolling down, you have Laughs for Liberty says, quote, "Lock these people up and have them disbarred. House is not an ethics violation." And is a picture from an article by Kristen Wong saying, quote, "Judge Juan Merchan's donations to Democrats could be grounds for ethics violation." And that did get 35 likes. You have Florida Man Eth, who, in true Florida Man form, the profile picture is in fact of a man with an orange for a head and having a red hat. And they do have an orange in their profile name, which I didn't realize you have emojis in your name. But nevertheless, Florida Man says, quote, Once again, Vivek is a voice of reason for America. Stacking the jurors against Trump is a blatant cheating. Anyone who denies that is either blind or lying. We need New Yorkers to rally in defense of DJT 100%, unquote, getting 39 likes. Now, what are the odds it actually happens? I mean, it's not zero, but New York's been blue for quite some time. I'd say the odds are probably 0.0000000000187. So again, not zero, but pretty darn close that New York is not going to step up. Team USA said, quote, if the roles were reversed, every media outlet in America would be covering it, unquote, getting 32 likes, which, yes, 110%. Libercat Media TM says, quote, precisely, and it's the caricature, was it the meme, saying, quote, if you raise your hand if you're tired of this shit, getting 40 likes. Let's scroll down. You have Patriotic Americans saying, quote, and just like that, Trump's Sixth Amendment, right to a trial by an impartial jury, goes right out the window. Our system of justice has been compromised, getting 3 likes. Let's see here. Libercat Media TM again says, quote, 100%. It says MAGA AF, getting 9 likes. Scott Lee says, quote, leaked image of the jurors selected for President Trump's trial. And it's a picture of, what is it? So instead of 12 angry men, it's 12 of the, I forget there was technically an adult, but it's a gal who broke down crying. She had short hair and glasses, which, again, doesn't narrow it down too much for the people who hate Trump. But she had a beanie on. But she broke down and cried when Trump was announced president, like a child. Well, intellectually, she's probably as smart or emotionally intelligent as a child, but technically an adult. She got again, it's 12 of her face plastered on jurors. I got 14 likes. Let's see here. Let's see. Julie says, quote, do you think this is going to be a fair trial? They haven't played by the rules yet. They aren't going to start now, getting 3 likes. So it's like overwhelming positive support for Vivek. And it'll be interesting to see, is it really possible for there to be an impartial jury for Trump, or Biden for that matter? I mean, pretty much everyone in the country knows these people, so it's not like it's going to be someone who's isolated, who's never heard of them. Most Americans do vote, so they're going to have some inherent bias. So that's a question to ask in and of itself. Do you, and again, I'd be fascinated to hear what you think, do you think it's possible for someone to really be an impartial juror for a former or current president? I mean, I feel like another issue with America is the deficit of emotional intelligence. Seemingly so few people have it. I'm not sure would it be even possible to really have an impartial jury. But let me know in the comments. As always, I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leave me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.